Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 18th of June 2024. Now the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is pretty much the same and it is definitely not looking good. Now listen guys, what did happen roughly around a week ago is that Saudi Arabia, they decided that they don't want to renew the petro US dollar. Now look guys, this is a macro level thing and I do feel that this has indirectly impacted the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now I'm no expert in petrodollar, so what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, study up things regarding petrodollar and let me know what the facts are regarding that, because there is no reason as to why the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market should be on a downtrend, considering the fact the CPI numbers were great and also Jerome Powell decided to keep the interest rate hike. So let me know guys, what are your thoughts regarding that. Now in today's episode guys, we have quite a lot of news to cover. The first is regarding Tether USDT. Now they are going to debut a synthetic US dollar, so definitely interesting news. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss the launch of Alloy by Tether. Now this guys is a new digital asset backed by Tether Gold. So definitely interesting prospects in this in my opinion. So I'll go ahead and give in-depth information as to what that is. Now Twitter or X guys, they are going to be debuting something as well in US and they want to go ahead and debut financial ecosystem only in US. Now the CEO of Twitter guys or X, that is Linda Yaccarino, she did have an interview with an outlet that is the Female Quotient and she actually said that payment functions will be kicking off in Twitter but it is restricted only to US. Now could it be possible that they might be implementing Dogecoin? I really am not sure, so we'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this news. Now in the world of Bitcoin guys, we do have two positive developments. Now the first one guys is from El Salvador and looks like El Salvador, they want to go ahead and start bank for Bitcoin investors. Now look guys, President Nayib Bukele is definitely a massive advocate of Bitcoin, isn't it? And lately guys, I'm seeing that there are quite a lot of news regarding him, regarding US politics as well. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now in the world of Bitcoin guys, we do have another positive development and that is to do with Australia. And looks like the Australian Security and Exchange Commission, they have gone ahead and approved a spot Bitcoin ETF. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this thing. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is a positive news and this is connected to the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. So essentially the news is that Aspen Digital, they have obtained an in-principle approval from the Financial Service Regulatory Authority. Now they will be able to conduct activities within the Abu Dhabi global market. So definitely positive news, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and break down this news in detail. Now the second news guys is more of an information that I'll be putting out and I'll go ahead and explain the pillars of open blockchain. Now look guys, I used to cover this in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast when I initially started because I thought that a lot of CTOs and tech founders truly didn't understand what the pillars of open blockchain is. Now fast forward to 2024 guys, I'm seeing exactly the same thing, and based on my interactions with CEO, CTO and tech founders in the cryptocurrency, blockchain and so-called Web3 space, I do have this very strong feeling that the education gap has actually increased, and unfortunately guys, a lot of them truly don't understand the pillars of open blockchain. Now mind you guys, these pillars of open blockchain are popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos, so definitely a lot of credit to him. So in today's episode, I'll go ahead and touch base on what the pillars of open blockchain are. That is open source, permissionless, censorship resistant, borderless, neutral and publicly verifiable. Now if you do want to go ahead and add anything to this guys, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now look, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is not doing good at all. It is down to $2.40 trillion. And what is a bit strange, guys, is that Bitcoin looks like has taken a massive hit because the market cap of Bitcoin has actually gone down. Now, so far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.59%. Now, at a macro level, guys, as I mentioned earlier, most likely this is connected to petrodollar, isn't it? Now, look, guys, at this point of time, I'm no expert on the petrodollar, so I do not want to give out any incorrect information, but I would really urge you guys to go ahead and check a couple of YouTube videos, and if you're someone who does have some knowledge regarding this, drop me a message to info@blockchaindxb.com or mention them in the comments below. Now, so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, guys, it is at $69.90 billion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 71.03%. Now, look, guys, because the global cryptocurrency market has increased and because the prices have gone down, it just means that people are selling a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? Now, unfortunately, guys, the volume of stable coins hasn't increased as well, which just means that they are converting it into fiat currency, isn't it? Definitely unfortunate news. Now, so far as the volume of DeFi is concerned, guys, it is at $5.63 billion, and DeFi as of today is accounting for 8.06% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $101.64 billion, with Lido still dominating at $34.42 billion. Now, so far as decentralized to centralized exchange dominance is concerned, guys, this week looks like it is below the 20% mark, isn't it? Because yesterday as well, it was well below the 20% mark, and today it is at 19.35%. So it looks like based on 2 days data, decentralized exchanges are not being used, and most likely centralized exchanges are being used to go ahead and convert cryptocurrencies into fiat currency, isn't it? This is definitely unfortunate in my opinion. Now let me quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because Uniswap's volume looks like it has increased. Today it is at $2.35 billion, and so far as PancakeSwap is concerned, it has actually gone down, and today it is at $528.73 million. Radium, guys, is at number 3rd. Its volume is $410.80 million. Aerodrome, guys, is at number 4th, and it is at $233.65 million. And finally, guys, Orca is at number 5th. Its volume is $156.03 million. So it looks like, guys, since the last 24 hours, only the volume of Uniswap has increased, isn't it? Now look, guys, based on the number, looks like a lot of centralized exchanges are being used in order to go ahead and convert a lot of the cryptocurrency in Uniswap. Those are my honest opinion. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly run through the volume of stable coins. Now unfortunately, guys, the numbers are definitely not great, considering the fact that the prices have gone down, isn't it? The volume of all stable coins, that is the 18th of June, is only at $64.46 billion. I would have been content, guys, if this number was, let's say, $100 billion or probably around the $120 billion mark, because that would actually mean that if the prices are going down, people are going ahead and buying a lot of stable coins, and they're kind of parking a lot of their stable coins, isn't it? Unfortunately, the numbers are not saying that, and what is a bit scary, guys, is that despite the volume of stable coins being low, it is accounting for 90.22% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and out of the $64.46 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $53.79 billion. And later on, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss a massive news regarding Tether USDT, and they are launching a synthetic US dollar, isn't it? So definitely positive news for the issuers of USDT, that is Tether. And I'm curious to check, guys, what are the impact it will have on the world of tokenization. Now, so far Circle USDC is concerned, guys, after a very long time, the volume of Circle USDC is almost double of that of FDUSD. So really I'm curious to check what is going on in Circle USDC. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some partnership that has been announced, because the volume is at $5.06 billion. Now FDUSD, guys, its volume is at $2.44 billion. Now since the last 24 hours, guys, looks like a lot of activity is actually taking place in Circle USDC, isn't it? So definitely worth looking into. Now let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, Bitcoin's market cap has actually gone down. Today it is at $1.30 trillion. And if you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, it is actually increased at 54.29%. Now look, guys, if you compare these numbers with the 24-hour trading volume, it is at $24.38 billion. And because the prices have gone down, it just means that a lot of people are actually going ahead and selling a lot of the Bitcoin, isn't it? Definitely unfortunate, considering the fact that the CPI numbers were not that bad, and Jerome Powell did not go ahead and increase the interest rate hike, isn't it? Keeping that thing in mind, guys, these numbers should have turned out to be positive. So let's see, guys, what happens in the next coming days. Now, so far as the market cap of Ethereum is concerned, that has gone down as well. It is at $422 billion. But if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, it is not as bad as Bitcoin. It is at $16.57 billion, and the dominance is exactly the same at 17.70%. So it looks like since the last 24 hours, a lot of selling is going on in the world of Bitcoin, but not so much so far as Ethereum is concerned. Now this week, guys, I'm looking at the top 3 gainers and the top 3 losers. Now it's really important to understand, guys, that there is a very high possibility that the top 3 gainers might be the top 3 losers the following day and vice versa. Now since the last 24 hours, Ripple or XRP has pumped up the most, and it is at 4.83%, which is a bit bizarre and strange, guys, because yesterday I talked about SSC. They went ahead and reduced the settlement fees in it. That should technically be a negative news for Ripple or XRP. But look, guys, the cryptocurrency world is absolutely wild and crazy, isn't it? Even a negative news turns out to be positive. The second one is Tron, and the ticker symbol of Tron is TRX. It is up by 0.96%. And the third one, guys, is People's cryptocurrency, that is Monero XRM. and it is up by 0.50%. Now the top 3 losers, guys. The first one is ZK Sync or ZK. Now since the last 24 hours, it is down by 18.12%. Injective gas has been consecutively down for the past 2 days. Today it is down by 12.97%. And the third one, guys, is Notcoin, and the ticker symbol for Notcoin is NOT, and it is down by 13.14%. So look, guys, since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is not doing good at all, isn't it? Let me know, guys, if you know anything that I don't know as to why the prices are going down. Based on my understanding, guys, it all revolves around petrodollar, isn't it? Now this week, guys, what I'm doing is, I'm talking about the blockchain trilemma problem, isn't it? Now in today's episode, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and discuss how artificial intelligence can go ahead and solve the blockchain trilemma problem. So what I'm going to be doing next, guys, is, I'm going to go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on how artificial intelligence can potentially solve the blockchain trilemma problem. Now at this point of time, guys, you should know that the blockchain trilemma problem is a term that was popularized by Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, and it refers to the challenge of achieving 3 attributes simultaneously in a blockchain network, that is decentralization, scalability, and security, isn't it? Now look, guys, generally speaking, blockchain systems can achieve 2 of these attributes effectively, but they often struggle to incorporate all 3 without compromising on one. So let's see, guys, if artificial intelligence can potentially address each aspect of the blockchain trilemma problem. Now if you're someone who's working in this area, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. So let's tackle scalability, guys. Now look, artificial intelligence algorithms such as reinforcement learning can be utilized to optimize the routing of transactions through the network. For instance, guys, AI can predict congestions on certain nodes and dynamically reroute transactions to less congested parts of the network, isn't it? This can ensure that transactions are processed more quickly and efficiently. Now the example I can think of is, let's say, Google's DeepMind. They use artificial intelligence to manage the energy use of data centers, and they reduce energy consumption by 40% by doing that. Similarly, guys, artificial intelligence can manage the resources of blockchain networks, dynamically allocating computing power and bandwidth where needed the most. Now, so far sharding is concerned, guys, artificial intelligence can definitely play a role, and there is something called as adaptive sharding. Now look, guys, sharding involves splitting the blockchain into smaller partitions that can process transactions in parallel, isn't it? Now what I think, guys, AI can be employed to determine the optimal number of shards and adjust the size dynamically based on network traffic and transaction volumes. Now one example I can think of is Zilliqa. Now Zilliqa is a blockchain platform that implements sharding for scalability. Now what artificial intelligence can do is, they can enhance this by predicting traffic patterns and dynamically adjusting shard configurations to ensure an even distribution of transactions across shards, minimizing delays and maximizing throughputs. Let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Because look, guys, AI can definitely help in consensus mechanism as well, and AI can be integrated into consensus mechanism to predict and mitigate potential bottlenecks. For example, guys, reinforcement learning algorithms can actually adjust parameters of proof of stake or Byzantine fault tolerance protocols in real time, thereby optimizing speed and security. Now Algorand, guys, they use pure proof of stake consensus mechanism, isn't it? Now AI, guys, can potentially enhance pure proof of stake consensus by predicting network conditions and adjusting the protocol parameters. This will ensure faster finality and higher transaction throughput without compromising security. Let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Now, guys, let's tackle security. Now look, guys, AI models that are trained on historical transaction data can detect anomalies in real time, and they can identify activities that could indicate security threats like double spending or unauthorized access, isn't it? Now one example I can think of is anomaly detection systems, which are similar to those used in fraud detection by banks, that I do believe can be applied to blockchain networks as well. For instance, guys, IBM's Watson's AI could analyze transaction patterns on a blockchain and flag potential fraudulent activities for further investigation. And AI can also be used for smart contract verification, because look, artificial intelligence can definitely assist in the verification of smart contracts by using techniques, let's say like formal verification and machine learning, and they can do this to detect vulnerabilities in the code before deployment. And there are tools like Mithric and Oyanti. They use static analysis to find bugs in smart contracts, and AI, guys, can definitely enhance these tools by using machine learning to learn from past vulnerabilities, thereby improving the accuracy and speed of detecting flaws in new contracts. Now AI can also be used for predictive security analysis, An AI guys can analyze historical data to predict future security threats, and by understanding patterns and threats in past attacks, artificial intelligence can definitely help in proactive strengthening the network against similar threats. Now look at predictive analytics, which are similar to those used in cybersecurity for anticipating and mitigating threats, can definitely be applied to blockchain as well. For instance, guys, AI models can predict potential 51% attacks based on the current distribution of mining power and historical attack data, isn't it? So Logazia can definitely help in solving the blockchain trilemma problem to a certain extent. Now let's discuss a third point, that is decentralization. What about decentralized AI governance, guys? Look, AI can definitely enhance decentralized governance by ensuring that the voting and decision-making process are fair and unbiased, and machine learning, guys, they have algorithms that can analyze voting patterns to detect and mitigate civil attacks, isn't it? And civil attacks is where a single entity gains disproportionate influence, isn't it? AI can possibly help with that. Now, one example I can think of is, guys, that AI can analyze voting data in decentralized autonomous organizations, that is DAOs, and they can do that to detect patterns that suggest manipulative behaviors, ensuring that all votes are genuine and represent independent participants. Now, so far as resource allocation is concerned, artificial intelligence can monitor and manage resource distribution in the network, and they can do that to prevent any single node or even group of nodes from gaining too much control, thereby maintaining decentralization, or distributed, how I like to call it. Now, the example I can think of is AI can manage computational resources in cloud computing platforms. Similarly, in blockchain network, guys, artificial intelligence or AI can monitor the performance and resource usage of nodes to ensure an even distribution, preventing centralization of power. Now, we can also have incentive mechanism, isn't it? And what about incentive mechanism, guys? AI can design dynamic incentive mechanism to encourage a diverse set of participants to join and stay in the network, and this would actually help maintain decentralization by ensuring a wide distribution of nodes. And what AI can do, guys, is it can manage the behavior of nodes and adjust reward mechanism to incentivize honest participation. For instance, guys, reinforcement learning can be used to fine-tune reward structure in real time based on network conditions and also node behaviors. So look, guys, what I do feel is that AI or artificial intelligence can significantly enhance blockchain network by addressing the blockchain trilemma problem through network optimization, anomaly detection, smart contract verification, decentralized governance, and dynamic incentive mechanism. AI can definitely offer promising solutions to achieve scalability, security, and decentralization simultaneously. However, guys, the challenges related to data, privacy, interoperability, and ethics must be addressed to fully realize the potential of AI and blockchain technology. So definitely important stuff, isn't it? Now look, guys, at this point of time, this is a relatively new area. Now if you do want to go ahead and work alongside with me, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings. Now, unfortunately, guys, the price of Bitcoin has not been looking good. It is currently at $65,059. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.85%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 5.48%. Ethereum, guys, is at $3,525. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.01%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.44%. Binance BNB coin, guys, is barely hanging on to the $600 range. Today, it is at $602. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.03%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 6.93%. Now look, guys, in the world of stable coins, Tether USDT is definitely leading the pack, isn't it? And they want to go ahead and debut synthetic dollar, and they actually announced the launch of Alloy by Tether, which is essentially a new digital asset that is backed by Tether Gold. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, the official link is in the show notes below, so definitely feel free to go ahead and check it out. But what I'll do next is I'll go ahead and explain what this announcement is. So essentially, guys, the Alloy by Tether is a new type of digital asset backed by Tether Gold, and they want to offer a stable and secure digital currency option. Now, Alloy by Tether, it is designed to provide the stability of traditional currencies with the security of gold, and the first token in this lineup is AUSDT, and that would actually mirror the value of $1, ensuring users can conduct digital transactions confidently without selling the gold holdings. Now, the innovation of AUSD token, guys, is over-collateralized by Tether Gold, meaning that its value is supported by real physical gold stored in Switzerland, and users can mint AUSD token by depositing their Tether Gold as collateral, with the process managed by Ethereum-compatible smart contracts. Now, it's really important to understand, guys, that these smart contracts ensure transparency and track all collateral and minted tokens using price oracles to constantly evaluate the mint to value, also called as MTV ratio, thereby ensuring value remains stable and secure. And also guys, it's really important to understand that Alloy by Tether operates on Ethereum mainnet, thereby allowing users to engage in digital transactions, payments and remittances with a currency that they feel familiar to the US dollar, isn't it? So this system not only maintains stability, but also offers a secure, gold-backed option for managing assets digitally. Furthermore, guys, Alloy by Tether is an important platform that supports the creation of various tethered assets within the different backing mechanism, potentially including yield-bearing products, and this flexibility, guys, makes it a valuable tool for both individual users and institutions looking for a secure and reliable digital asset management options. Now that's not all, guys. The platform also provides a modern approach to asset management, integrating tethered assets into portfolios and combining the reliability of gold with the efficiency of digital assets. Now it's really important to understand, guys, that the issuance and management of Alloy by Tether will be handled by Mongold NA, SADCV and Mongold El Salvador. Now SA and DCV, guys, both are members of Tether Group and authorized by CNAED in El Salvador, and these entities will cater to different customer segments and regulatory requirements. Now the CEO of Tether, that is Paulo Adriano, has expressed excitement about this initiative solution, highlighting its potential to redefine stability in the digital economy. Now in the official blog, guys, he also mentioned that they plan to integrate the technology into Tether's upcoming digital asset tokenization platform, marking a significant milestone for the company and the broader market. So essentially, guys, in summary, Alloy by Tether offers a secure and stable digital currency option backed by gold, providing users and institutions with a modern, reliable way to manage and use assets digitally. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding Tether's synthetic US dollar? Are you a fan of it, or are you a detractor of this particular project? Me personally, guys, I have a neutral opinion, at least for now, but let's see how this product turns out to be. Now, guys, let's discuss some news in the world of Twitter or X. And Linda Yaccarino, the current CEO of Twitter or X, did actually have an interview with a female quotient, and what she actually said, that a payment functionality is set to feature on Monday in Twitter. Now this thing will be applicable only in US, guys. So if you're someone who is from US, let me know, guys, if a tipping feature has started in US. Now what she actually said, that this will transform the way millions of users engage with each other on the platform, and the platform now is called as X, isn't it? Now look, guys, X has definitely made quite a lot of progress on payments when it obtained 3 monetary licenses since last July. Now if you do want to see the official link, guys, it is published via Decrypt and it is in the show notes below. Now look, guys, I'm really curious to check if Dogecoin has been implemented by Twitter or X, and what would be even crazy, guys, is if they do go and start using Bitcoin using Lightning Network. We all know, guys, that Elon Musk is definitely a massive fan of Bitcoin, isn't it? It would be great if Linda has gone ahead and implemented Bitcoin using Lightning Network. It'll just show the world the power of Bitcoin using Lightning Network. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss 2 positive news in the world of Bitcoin. Let's kickstart by discussing some news from El Salvador and President Nayib Bukele, guys. He has proposed a Bitcoin bank for El Salvador 2 weeks after starting the second term. Now, if this thing is approved, it would offer Bitcoin investors broader financial services than conventional banks. Now, the official link, guys, to this is via dlnews.com, and El Salvador's ambassador did actually put something via Twitter. What the ambassador did actually state is that as part of economic plan for El Salvador, we propose a BPI, that is Bank for Private Investment, where we can diversify financing options offered to potential investors in dollars and Bitcoin. Now look, guys, President Nayib Bukele has definitely been a massive advocate of Bitcoin, isn't it? And now, because of the US elections coming up, Tucker Carlson, he did have a brilliant interview with President Nayib Bukele. I would definitely recommend you to go and watch it. Now with the US elections coming up, looks like he's definitely a massive fan of President Donald Trump as well. So I'd really urge you guys to go and follow him. And let's see, guys, how the banking institution or Bitcoin bank for El Salvador turns out to be. Now, guys, let's go ahead and touch base on positive news so far as Bitcoin ETF is concerned, and the Australian Security and Exchange Commission, also called as ASX, they have approved the first Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, it's really important to understand, guys, that the Australian Stock Exchange or ASX, they represent 90% of Australia's equity market, and they have gone ahead and approved a spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, this news, guys, is actually published by a blog that is posted by the issuer of spot ETF, that is VanEck. Now the blog, guys, is in the show notes below, and what that blog actually states that the spot ETF will be launching on the 20th of June, and that the VanEck Bitcoin ETF will be the lowest Bitcoin spot ETF in Australia. Now look, guys, if you actually go through the website, there's a really interesting article which is published by Jamie Han, who I believe is the Deputy Head of Investment in Capital Markets, and in that article he goes and explains the benefits of Bitcoin and ETF and why it works. So I'd really recommend you to go ahead and read it. Definitely an interesting point. Along with that, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is read through an article that I published on my website, that is Blockchain DXB, and the article is called Why Spot Bitcoin ETF Approval Sucks Balls. Now look, guys, both of the opinion are contrasting news. Me personally, I'm definitely not a fan of spot Bitcoin ETF, because look, guys, according to me, it is the millionaires who are benefiting by it and billionaires who are benefiting by it, isn't it? A spot ETF does absolutely nothing so far as the underlying technology of Bitcoin is concerned. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go ahead and read through both the articles and let me know what your opinion to both the articles are. So these were some macro level news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is from the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And Aspen Digital, they have obtained an in-principle approval from the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, and now they will be in a position to conduct activities within the Abu Dhabi global market. So let me go ahead and break down this news, guys. Because now, guys, the IPO in-principle approval permit will allow Aspen Digital to move forward with the plans to offer financial services in the Abu Dhabi global market. Now at this point of time, they still require a final regulatory approval, but this approval, guys, marks a significant advancement for Aspen Digital, enhancing its presence in the Middle East digital asset market. And Aspen Digital, guys, they plan to expand its product offering within the region, and the in-principle approval aligns with Aspen's digital strategy for regional growth and adherence to FSRA's regulatory guidelines. And Aspen Digital, guys, they aim to be an all-in-one solution for private wealth investing in alternative digital assets. And the in-principle approval, guys, aligns with Aspen Digital's strategy for regional growth and adherence to FSRA, that is Financial Services Regulatory Authority's regulatory framework. And Aspen Digital, guys, they aim to be an all-in-one solution for private wealth investing in alternative digital assets. And the company, guys, will play a crucial role in developing the local digital asset ecosystem. And Abu Dhabi global market's understanding of digital asset and regulatory approach is extremely pivotal in establishing the region as a global financial service hub, isn't it? And Aspen Digital, guys, was founded in 2021 under Everest Venture Group, or EVG, and it is backed by prominent investors including Rothschild Investment Trust, Capital Partners and Liberty City Ventures. And Aspen Digital, guys, serves family offices, ultra-high net worthy individuals and also wealthy managers. Now the platform will enable seamless allocation to digital asset through a one-stop solution, and the CEO, that is Elliot Andrews, views the in-principle approval as a critical milestone for expanding Aspen Digital's global footprint and offering. And Andrews, guys, appreciates Abu Dhabi global market's comprehensive and clear strategy framework that is set for digital assets. And Aspen Digital looks forward for collaborating closely with ADGM, that is Abu Dhabi global market, to drive digital asset adoption. And Arvind Ramamurthy, guys, who is the Chief of Market Development of Abu Dhabi global market, has congratulated Aspen Digital on the in-principle approval, and he also knows that the lucrative opportunities for private wealth and alternative asset services are definitely available in the region that they can definitely benefit from. And Abu Dhabi global markets regulatory regime, guys, aims to support service providers like Aspen Digital in accelerating the growth of digital asset sector in Abu Dhabi global market and beyond, isn't it? So definitely positive news. Now the second news, guys, is where I'm going to be revisiting the pillars of open blockchain, because look, guys, in 2016 and 2017, I used to have quite a lot of meetings with CEOs and CTOs and founders, and I used to go out and educate them on what the pillars of open blockchain is. And what I do feel is that currently when I'm speaking to CEOs, CTOs and tech founders, they still don't truly understand the pillars of open blockchain. Now mind you, guys, the pillars of open blockchain is popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos, so what I'd really recommend you to do is buy all of his books, follow him on YouTube channel, and follow all of his podcasts. He's probably the greatest educator so far as Bitcoin and open blockchain is concerned. Now look, guys, there are a couple of pillars of open blockchain, that is open source, permissionless, censorship resistant, neutral, borderless and publicly verifiable. Now so far as open source is concerned, we need to understand that Bitcoin software is completely open source that allows absolutely anyone to inspect, modify and contribute to this code, and this fosters a collaborative environment where developers all over the world can go out and improve the system. And being open source, guys, ensures that any potential vulnerabilities can be quickly identified and addressed by the global community, thereby enhancing security and fostering innovation. Now, open source is such a basic concept, guys, particularly in Bitcoin and open blockchain, and it is one of the strongest pillars of open blockchain. Now, the second one, guys, is permissionless. Now, look, Bitcoin's network is completely open for absolutely anyone in the world without needing approval from any centralized authority, isn't it? And this is one of the beauties of using Bitcoin or open blockchain. But so far as, let's say, central bank digital currency is concerned, we definitely require KYCs and AML, isn't it? And this begs this question, guys, so far as tokenization is concerned, if there are KYCs and AML, who goes ahead and does that? Because there is permission that needs to be approved, isn't it? Now, going back to Bitcoin, guys, by removing the need for permission, Bitcoin promotes a decentralized structure where no single entity has control over the network, and that is one of the strongest pillars of open blockchain. Now, the next point, guys, is kind of similar, that is censorship resistant. Now, Bitcoin and open blockchain transactions cannot be censored or blocked by government or absolutely any other entities due to the decentralized nature of the network. But look, guys, so far stablecoin is concerned, they can definitely go out and freeze your accounts, isn't it? So when you're using stablecoins, you need to ask this question: can your account be frozen? And can your transaction be censored? And unfortunately, guys, the answer is not you would expect. Now, so far as Bitcoin and open blockchain is concerned, we need to understand that once a transaction is recorded on the blockchain, the transactions are permanent and cannot be altered or deleted, thereby ensuring that censorship is nearly impossible. Now let's talk about neutrality, guys. Now, Bitcoin operates without favoritism towards any particular user, entity, or geographical region, maintaining a neutral stance. So look, when you use Bitcoin, or technically when you use open blockchain, the user experience should be the same. Let's say if you're using it in Palestine, let's say if you're using it in the United States of America, or China or India, there is absolutely no border as well, and the network treats all participants equally, providing a level playing field for all users worldwide. Therefore, being neutral is one of the pillars of open blockchain. This, guys, is kind of connected to the next pillar, that is borderless. Now look, Bitcoin and open blockchain transactions transcends national borders, enabling seamless and low-cost transfers of value across the globe, regardless of geographical restrictions. And by being borderless, guys, Bitcoin and open blockchain facilitates financial inclusion for individuals in regions with limited access to fractional banking services, and that, to be honest, guys, is one of the pillars of open blockchain. Now, the next one, guys, is publicly verifiable. Now, look, there are so many cases we've identified where fraudulent activities have been immediately identified as an ad, and that is because of transactions in Bitcoin and open blockchain are completely publicly verifiable. And every transaction on Bitcoin and open blockchain is recorded on a public ledger, which absolutely anyone can access and verify. And this transparency, guys, builds trust among users, isn't it? And this also helps in audit, in my opinion. And the ability to verify transactions, guys, also helps in auditability, and the public nature of blockchain allows for independent auditing and verification of transactions to be done by absolutely anywhere in the world. So look, guys, these are pillars of open blockchain. Now what I will be doing, guys, I will be releasing a standalone episode explaining the basics of open blockchain, and pillars of open blockchain is definitely one of them. I'll go ahead and touch base on double spending and quite a lot of other things as well. I'll also go ahead and touch base on blockchain trilemma problem once again. So that's about all, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you do like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, please feel free to go ahead and check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, metaverse, artificial intelligence, and quite a lot of other. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Nikhil who asks, do you think a world where people are going to just transact in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency probably in a decade's time or so? Now this is a really interesting question, Nikhil, and the word that you're talking about is Bitcoinization. Now, in my opinion, I don't see that thing happening at least for a couple of decades. Now, look, Bitcoin's purpose was separation of money and the state, isn't it? But I don't see people doing transactions or maybe the price of a particular product or services in Bitcoin only. Now, granted, there might be some use cases, but at a macro level, I don't think so. It might take place at least in a decade's time. Maybe in 2 decades' time, that is definitely possible. Now, look, so far as Bitcoin is concerned, with the approval of Spot Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin has become more of a store of value as opposed to, let's say, medium of exchange or medium of payment, isn't it? What about Ethereum? The price of Ethereum is roughly around $3,500 to $4,000, so I don't think Ethereum will also be used for that purpose. But let's say stable coins, I definitely do think there is a stark possibility of stable coins to be used, let's say, for transaction. So let's say if you go to a store, you might see the price of, let's say, a particular product or service mentioned in USDT. But look, I don't think so that would be possible as well, because there is a very high possibility that central bank digital currency, they would be a massive threat for stablecoin issuers, isn't it? So as much as I dislike saying it, I don't think so that the world will be ready for Bitcoinization. Or even if you talk about products and services, let's say for Ether or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency for that matter, we do require a drastic movement. Now, one of the movements that is currently taking place, that is Saudi Arabia is not renewing the petro US dollar, isn't it? Now we'll just have to wait and see what kind of an impact does it have on the US dollar, and will the US dollar still be the world's reserve currency? Now look, Nikhil, since the last 2 days, I'm seeing quite a lot of articles regarding petrodollar. Now what these so-called experts are doing is, they are going and explaining what the petrodollar is, and they're talking about the implication. But towards the end, they're just talking about that Bitcoin is the solution, rather than giving an explanation of how Bitcoin would actually go and solve this. One of the biggest problems with Bitcoinization is, over 90% of Bitcoin is in the hands of millionaires, celebrities and multi-billionaires, isn't it? Keeping that thing in mind, I would definitely not want Bitcoinization, because there will be centralization of Bitcoin in among just few people. What I'd really want is, let's say, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system where everyone has an equal playing field. When will that thing happen? I really am not sure, to be honest, Nikhil. It just might never happen as well. But what my next focus is, at least for this particular month, to go ahead and understand what the petrodollar is, and that would give us an idea of what is the future of Bitcoin, keeping in mind your question. But definitely interesting question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything Season Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, as I mentioned earlier, go to my website www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, metaverse, artificial intelligence, and even central bank digital currency. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other 2 news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now, guys, is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.